Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you mean I shouldn't talk away from it? I should talk into it? Sure, I'm doing it wrong this whole time. Right. Good evening, everyone. I'm now going to call to order the September 4th, 2025 regular Township Committee meeting of the Township of Lumberton. Please rise and pledge allegiance to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notice of time and date for this meeting appeared in Resolution 2025-003, dated January 3rd, 2025. This notice was sent to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post newspapers as a legal notice and sunshine notice in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, posted on the Township webpage, bulletin board in the municipal building, and written notice mailed to all who requested copies of the regular meeting schedule. All of the above-mentioned postings and filings were fulfilled on the second day of September 2025. Please silence all cell phones to alleviate disruption of the meeting. Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson.
Here.
Committeeman Robinson. Committeewoman Smith.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fay. Absent. And Mayor LaPlaca.
Here.
Thank you. Professionals present: Jackie Schenkowitz-Long, ERI, Michael Iriano, Township Solicitor, George Morris, Esquire, and Bobby Quinn, Deputy Administrator, Township Clerk.
Thank you, Bobby. We now move on to the approval of the regular and executive session minutes of August 7th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move, Benson.
Second. Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson.
Yes.
Committeeman Robinson. Yes. Committeewoman Smith.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlaca.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we now have the consent agenda resolutions. Does anyone wish to remove any items from consent this evening? All right, hearing and seeing
No.
none. Bobby, could you please read the title of each resolution?
Yes, Resolution 2025-166, amendment to Resolution numbers 2025-02, 60, 71, 137, and 163, making various township official and board appointments. Resolution 2025-167, authorizing the tax collector to adjust an account pursuant to the totally disabled veteran exemption, Block 19.32, Lot 9, 29 Thornhill Drive. Resolution 2025-168, authorizing the tax collector to adjust an account pursuant to the totally disabled veteran exemption, Block 19.23, Lot 89, 22 Tynemouth Drive. Resolution 2025-169, authorizing the tax collector to adjust an account pursuant to the totally disabled veteran exemption, Block 22.01, Lot 52, 9 Tarragon Drive. Resolution 2025-170, authorizing tax collector to adjust an account pursuant to the totally disabled veteran exemption, Block 22.02, Lot 42, 11 Basil Drive. Resolution 2025-171, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 48:4-87, Burlington County Parks Grant, $125,000. Resolution 2025-172, resolution authorizing membership in a mutual aid and assistance agreement with participating units, Burlington County and Lumberton Township. Resolution 2025-173, resolution of support for the application of the Happy Farmer, LLC, to open a retail cannabis establishment at 106 Art Road, Block 36, Lot 12.06 in the Township of Lumberton. And finally, Resolution 2025-174, authorizing payment number 2 to the contract with Earl Asphalt Company, Inc. for the 2024 Lumberton Township Road Improvement Program, Bobby's Run Boulevard, Phase 1, Phase 2, to include alternates 1 through alternate 7.
Thank you, Bobby. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Do
So move, Benson.
I have a second? Second. Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson.
Yes.
Committeeman Robinson. Committeewoman Smith.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlaca.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bobby, any items of correspondence this evening?
I do not.
Any unfinished business?
There is not.
Any new business?
No, thank you.
Okay.
There is none.
No, thank you. You're welcome. May I have a motion to approve purchases over $5,000 for the bill list dated September 4th, 2025?
So move Benson.
I have a second.
Second.
Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson,
Yes.
Committeeman Robinson, Committeewoman Smith,
Yes.
Mayor LaPlaka.
Abstain on ERI and yes on the rest.
Thank you.
We now move on to the payment of the regular bill list and check register, also dated September 4th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move Benson.
I have a second.
Second.
Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson,
Yes.
Committeeman Robinson, Committeewoman Smith,
Yes.
Mayor LaPlaka.
Abstain on ERI and yes on the rest.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now going to move on to the public comment portion of the meeting. In accordance with Lumberton Township Ordinance 2022-01, I will receive and direct all comments from and responses to the public, although each committee member may be given the opportunity to discuss or respond to public comment if they so choose. Comments or responses shall be limited to 5 minutes. I'll now open the meeting for the public comment. If you would like to address the committee this evening, please step forward to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing none. Oh, no. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else for public comment this evening? Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Committeewoman Smith, did you want to address Ms. Sora's comments real quick?
Did you by chance get that quote from that gentleman that I sent you? Is it? Did you? Really? Do you by chance have that quote? Not. I'm going to link up with you soon. I wasn't working on it. I believe that you're the president of the association, right? Okay. That's why I gave you the contact person to reach out. Do you mind emailing me the quote? I spoke to the owner personally, and we're not. All right, we can link up. Okay.
Well, as Committeewoman Smith said, we will look into it. I will also speak with our administrator and CFO about those numbers. Obviously, the township is governed by the law that you cited, so you're free to obviously dispute our interpretation of it and the reimbursement we provide you. That's your right. As a general matter, private haulers do charge a lot more than having an in-house public works department. During COVID, a lot of towns moved to private haulers because they were losing their drivers to Amazon and other private haulers. We did not do that because we wanted to keep our work in-house. And because we have such a well-established in-house DPW department, we are much more cost efficient than a private hauler would be. So, you know, thank you, ma'am. All right. Ma'am, your turn.
Thank you for your patience.
Bobby, how can how can she get a copy of the agreement? Sorry. The mutual aid agreement with the county?
Hello.
Every 5 years, and I'm sorry, it's done every 5 years. The county reached out to us, and it's that time to renew, and basically allows the township to share services when it comes to fire, EMS, police, in case there's certain situations, flooding, something as small or as major as that, but it's just an agreement with the Burlington County to interact with them. There's no additional cost, and it's just basically an agreement between everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the explanation. I just wondered where I could locate.
What's that?
She just wanted a copy of the agreement, Bobby.
What's that? I'm sorry.
She wanted a copy of the agreement that's referenced in the resolution.
Yes, once it's signed, I'll be able to do that.
Okay.
It's not signed yet, so it's not an official agreement, and I know you're an attorney, so you'll appreciate that. So
I try to dissuade anyone.
yes, as soon as it's signed, I will provide that to you, okay?
Great, thank you.
And we'll be signing it tonight, just to let you know. It'll be forwarded to the county. As soon as they sign it, I'll forward a copy to you.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you, and thank you, Bobby.
Got it.
Okay. Anyone else for public comment? I thought I saw a hand up back there.
Good evening, George Jackson, Chief Tabernacle Rescue Squad, 66 Woodside Drive, Tabernacle, New Jersey. I'm here tonight just to ask a few questions to the Township Committee. I appreciate your time and letting me speak. I'm here to speak about the proposed shared services between Lumberton, Southampton, Tabernacle, and Chemung Townships for EMS services, and I just have a few questions. So just some history, starting about 2021, when Lumberton began to cover Tabernacle, the Lumberton Emergency Squad and Tabernacle Rescue Squad formed a steering committee to investigate this very thing. One of the determinations was made that there was a shortage in funding for that operation in the tune of about $300,000, which basically came out of the operation of Tabernacle and Southampton. And at the time, why we were doing that, one of the discussions is that Tabernacle and Southampton, or I'm sorry, Tabernacle and Chemung, not Tabernacle and Southampton, Tabernacle and Chemung, we're going to have to provide that funding. And at some point, there were discussions with the towns about additional funding that was going to be needed because the Lumberton operation, as it ran when it provided coverage to Lumberton Township, was operating in the green. They did not need any additional funding, but the operation in Tabernacle, due to the lower call volume, would require additional funding. That merger, obviously, both parties decided to go separate ways. And once Tabernacle decided to move forward with a different plan, the service of Lumberton during the daytime coverage was ended on December 31st. Prior to that, there was a township meeting where we had made a presentation and discussed our plans. And then there was a letter sent by the township administrator of Lumberton inquiring about coverage, who was going to cover, and wanted some kind of response from Tabernacle and Chemung, which prompted me to be called to the township meeting to answer for that. And during that meeting, I was asked a point-blank question from one of our committee people that wanted to know why. And I made a comment that I felt that it was due to, it was financially beneficial for the other service, meaning Lumberton, to continue the operation in Tabernacle, to which I received a reply from Chief Wood, and I just want to read from that. It says it has also been relayed to us that some of the leaders of Tabernacle felt that Lumberton was using Tabernacle for financial gain, insinuating by the chief, stating that someone wants to stay as long as it's beneficial for them. In full transparency, Lumberton has taken a loss from covering Tabernacle for the last 2.5 years, and that includes with reimbursement from the township. Our expenses have exceeded our revenue for providing the service. We have never, do not plan on billing Tabernacle for the distance. We are not gaining anything from covering Tabernacle except for providing the much needed service to the residents. So in that statement, she says that when Lumberton operated in Tabernacle during that time period, covering the Monday through Friday during the day, when Tabernacle Rescue Squad provided all the equipment, the vehicle, and all the maintenance on that vehicle, fuel and everything, that they still operated at a loss. Furthermore, Tabernacle Rescue Squad has been attempting to meet with the two towns and been basically stonewalled. And I come to find out this in August, and as you can imagine, being the chief of the organization for 23 years, I wasn't very happy. And I eventually had a text conversation with Jamie about it and voiced my displeasure. And I'll admit that I was probably not as nice as I should have been, but after the basic gist was, just leave us alone. Just stay out of our town. That's what I asked. Just leave us alone. And to a response that I got on Monday, August 4th at 8:30 a.m. was, I sent an email at 7 a.m. to Meredith telling her I want to pull the draft of the shared service agreement. I don't want to be involved in any public display of hate. We're just trying to help out the town and ask for shared service. But what we could do now is not the time. At a later time, if they find they have no EMS coverage, then they can come back to us and talk to us. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you were aware that that was told or that letter was sent to say that they don't want to do this. So my point of this is, and I don't really want to listen, the Lumberton Emergency Squad does a great job, and a lot of their providers came from Tabernacle Rescue Squad. So that's not what this is about. My question to you is, for Lumberton Township, what is the benefit to you? And knowing those numbers, that steering committee, all four of those members of that steering committee are sitting in their room tonight. That $300,000 loss that or hole is a real physical number.
Excuse me, Mr. Jackson, your
No problem.
time limit is up. I apologize.
That's a real thing. So what are you getting for this? And please make sure that you and them are adequately funded by those towns before you assign any agreement, because that's the issue we're having. We asked for $100,000 and got denied.
Mr. Jackson, your time is up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, but you can say, so Chief Jackson, first, thank you for coming here tonight. And, thank you for everything that you and your members do for Tabernacle. I have a great deal of empathy for your situation because I think it's extremely unfortunate anytime communications or a relationship between a first responder agency and their township break down. That's never how it should be. You guys shouldn't be put in this position where you have to, come out to other towns and plead your case and be shut out of meetings or communication with your governing body. We certainly don't want to play a role in any sort of animosity or bad feelings or putting people out of their jobs or their volunteer gigs. The position of Lumberton Township is that a neighboring community approached us and asked for help. And, we had obviously previously had the arrangement with Tabernacle and Chemung. They came to us and said, we want to bring you guys back. The first question we always ask, because as you're aware, but for the benefit of the whole room, Lumberton Emergency Squad is a completely independent entity in the sense that their budget is their own. The township does not make their budget or, see their budget. Their finances are entirely up to them. So our first question is always, Do you have the bandwidth for this? Do you have the staffing for this? Is this financially feasible for you? If the answer is no, then we don't do it, right? I would never stretch anybody past their ability to service our township first, because that's our priority as our residents. My understanding is that the agreement is structured in such a way that prioritizes Lumberton residents and Lumberton response, and you would know better than I, but it also is predicated on equipment and apparatus coming from Chemung and Tabernacle to provide those services to those towns, because the ambulances across the street are not going to be the ones that go into Tabernacle. And so in terms of the benefit to Lumberton, the benefit to Lumberton is being a good neighbor, because shared services is how we survive, right? We're in shared services agreements with other towns that probably don't benefit those towns, but we're lucky to have them because it benefits us. And it's kind of a what goes around comes around thing in New Jersey right now, where unless you're an Evesham or a Mount Laurel or a Cherry Hill, you can't get by without working with your neighbors and partnering with them. So if, again, our squad comes to us and says, this isn't going to work, we'd rather not do it, then it's not going to happen, because I'm not going to tell them to do something that they can't feasibly do. As far as some of the operational stuff and financial stuff that you mentioned, I'm going to defer to Chief Wood if she wants to get up and respond to or clarify any of that, because she's the expert about her entity. I'm not, in terms of that stuff, but
So just the one point to the vehicles and the equipment, Tabernacle Township owns nothing.
right, that I understand. I know your squad owns the ambulances, that's
Right,
correct?
So they don't have anything to provide. So
Okay.
that more than likely, and we're ticking here along, we're at like 60 days. I don't know where they're gonna get an ambulance in 60 days to provide the service.
Right.
So that's a problem. The thing that I'm looking at is it's bad politics in another town. And I'm just asking you, and that's all I'm asking, is that maybe you guys take a look at it and think maybe we shouldn't get involved in the bad politics in another town, and what's going on. Because this is not really about this, it's really about something else, and that's what they're using to leverage this. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming out here, and I will be having more conversations about this, because again, we don't want to be part of anything that
Right.
doesn't work out right and in the best interest of all the towns that are
The
involved.
problem is
So,
we met with our town last in February and gave a presentation and gave many options and never heard another thing until we got an hour before they made their announcement and served us with the 90-day notice. That's how we found out.
okay.
So, it's been a lot to take in, and we're trying to get through this, and we just want to make sure, because I don't see I get your point about being a good neighbor, but to a certain point, make sure that you're protecting yourself and your agency before you enter in something like that.
100%. I
Thank
agree
you.
with you. Thank you. I know we had another resident, I believe, who wanted to make comment, ma'am.
Julia Baker, DeCamillo, 316 New Bolton Road. So I was in probably 4 months, maybe 5 months ago, and spoke, and then the chief of police approached me about the speed limit on my road and doing something about it. And at that time, he said he was going to talk with the engineers, get a traffic study.
Can you just speak
done.
more directly to the microphone? I'm sorry.
He was going to talk with the engineers, look at having a traffic study done, go out there and drive the road himself, because he didn't believe me that there weren't any speed limit signs on my road. There aren't. The nearest speed limit sign is once you're in Southampton. And nothing has happened in 4 months, and I was wondering if there was any discussion done. I haven't heard from anyone. Summer's over, everybody's back. They're already doing 70 miles an hour at 6 o'clock in the morning on the road.
And you said New Bolts Corner Road, correct?
I'm sorry?
You said New Bolts Corner?
New Bolts.
Right.
Correct, 316. That's
Okay.
where I live. I'm the last house, but
Okay.
I mean, I know they're monitoring Aristown Road, but there's been maybe one car once that I've noticed on our street monitoring traffic. And it's a problem. I mean, we all take our lives trying to get out of our driveways just so we can see past the speeding cars. There's a hill and there's a decline, and it's not a lot of road. It's just a little bit of road that I think if you were to give 3 people tickets in one day, they'd probably all slow down.
Yeah. Jackie, were you guys approached about looking into a traffic study on New Bolts Corner? Are you aware?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I was not at that meeting that you're speaking of that you said that you were at, but I was made aware of it. I spoke with my office, and it's my understanding, you're correct, there is not a speed limit sign until you enter Southampton.
There's none on the Lumberton
Stretch. Yep,
stretch.
correct. Agreed with you there. It's my understanding that the town engineer Rakesh Darji spoke with Chief Nippens about this concern, and he is of the opinion that due to the number of residents and the use on that road being a residential road, doing a traffic study, paying our office to do a traffic study would not benefit us in this situation. Not us, my company, but you and the residents. It would actually result in a higher speed limit if they did a proper speed limit study. I will certainly bring it back up to him and see if there's anything else we can do. But speed,
So that I understand clearly,
Mhm.
it would result in a higher speed limit. They do 70 now without any speed limit signs. What are we going to put up there, 90 so they can do 100?
no, I'm sorry, that is not what I mean. Speed limit is established based off of the number
Speed limit's
of
45. It's established on that road.
in Southampton.
It was established on that road in Lumberton until something was done with the road and the signs were taken down and never put back up.
Okay. I was not aware of that. I will certainly bring that back up to Rakesh in my office. But again, we've had this experience in other places before where residents such as yourself are concerned with the speeding on the road. And once a traffic study is properly done, it actually results in the speed limit being, again, I know the signs aren't posted, the speed limit being appropriate. And we end up not achieving the goal that we really want, which is to set a lower or a more standard speed limit. With regard to the signs being there before, I was not aware of that. I will certainly bring it up
I mean,
and we'll
that was
discuss it
like
again.
More than 10 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, more than 10 years, but I don't know if they resurfaced the road, they
Mhm.
did the culverts, whatever.
Just didn't put it
happened.
back.
There
Okay.
has been at least one sign. So that being said, I mean, it is a backcountry road. It's not Route 38.
Right.
So you're saying if you do a traffic study, they might make the speed limit 60 and put sign. I mean, none of our back roads in Lumberton are 60 miles an hour.
Right. Mhm.
So I'm
No, and again, I haven't done a traffic study. I am not a professional traffic engineer or anything like that. But in other places where we've done such a study, where it's a residential road, you would think it should be 35. But just because it's a residential road doesn't mean that it has the number of residences on that road for it to warrant being 35.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
that's where I'm getting
Yeah,
at. So I'm
sure.
just saying that was our office's concern, was that rather than going out and doing all this work to do a study and risk posting a 55 speed limit, say, for example, we felt it was best to not do that. But as far as it being previously established as 45 miles an hour, I was unaware of that. We will look into that further and see if we can put those signs back.
Well, I mean,
rather
some
than
of them
doing-
had to get a
Mhm.
speed limit from somewhere. They couldn't just-
Agreed.
And there's less houses the
On their
southeast
side.
of the road.
Mhm.
My concern is that, the day I pull out of my driveway and that child coming down the road, because there's already been 2 deaths, a car overturned, I don't know if you're aware, and
I'm
another
not.
one, there was a T-bone 6, 7 years ago.
Mhm.
It's not gotten any better with all the developments, all the cut through, all the traffic,
Mhm.
people, and they just don't slow down.
Yep.
It's a quality of life issue.
Absolutely.
So-
Completely understand.
I guess my question is, you're saying there's no way to enforce traffic because there's no speed limit?
Here, Jackie, I think, ma'am, your time is up, but we'll keep you up here to finish the discussion. So here's what we're going to do. So Jackie's going to follow up with her boss. And Jackie, if I'm correct, you guys are also the engineer in Southampton, right?
Yes, we are.
All right. So you've got access to both sides of the road and the history of how the speed limit was developed in both towns and yada,
Yes.
yada, yada.
Correct.
And we'll confirm Rakesh's assessment that a speed study might lead to a higher recommended speed limit, which is obviously not what we're looking for. In the meantime, once we confirm that, Bobby will talk to Tommy about getting some signs put up
Yes.
on Newbolt's Corner, so at least the speed limit that is there can be properly alerted and enforced. And then, Chief, obviously, under his purview, can certainly direct patrols or speed enforcement out there
Not so
and
much
see what
that.
happens. Put the radar truck out there or whatever, works.
Those of us that live there don't expect that speed limit to be 35, but
Mhm.
even if it was 50 and it was enforced, I mean, it's like known that it's like the dragway, it's the 70-mile-an-hour road. Nobody ever gets a ticket. A woman actually ran off the road and hit a log and called the police department here and then said it was a deer, and she never hit a deer. She hit the log on the side of the road. But
Okay.
anyway, that's a whole. it's gotten dangerous. It's not getting better, all the development. And
Yeah.
I would like to see some enforcement. It
Yeah.
would be better for.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll discuss this with Chief to see what he recommends as the best approach in terms of enforcement. You know, the department does have like the radar trailer that they put
Yeah.
out a lot of like Bobby John Boulevard and other places. Like sometimes that just helps people remind them like
Yeah.
you're going too fast.
Yeah.
And we'll get at least signs put up so people know this is what you're supposed to be doing.
That would
And
be great.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
absolutely. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment this evening?
Kyler Vina, Tabernacle Township, 7 Gate Road. Good evening, members of the Township Committee. First, I'd like to congratulate you guys on the $125,000 for your Parks and Recreation. I'm
Thank you.
actually kind of interested in some of the other towns that of the meetings we've been to. They also have received funding, so I'm interested on what you guys are planning on using it for. Next, I would like to address the topic of EMS services in the neighboring municipalities, specifically in Tabernacle and Chemung Townships. For the sake of transparency and accountability to Lumberton residents, I'm requesting clarification on a few items. Have the shared service agreements been provided to the Lumberton Township? We were informed by Chemung Township solicitor that the plan was for them to arrive either yesterday or today, so at some point in time. And then number two, if so, are there any financial terms included within these arrangements? And how will these costs or contributions from or to Lumberton or Southampton Township be accounted for? Number three, when was the Township Committee first notified of these potential agreements or discussions, and how was the inquiry brought to this committee to be discussed and brought to your attention? Number four, are financial considerations going to be provided to Lumberton Emergency Squad for any of the townships involved in this shared service agreement? And are the committee members aware of any of the specifics of these arrangements? If no arrangements have been finalized as of now, are there any ongoing discussions or proposals? And what is the timeline for this decision to be made? So like we had noted, Tabernacle Rescue Squad we're on a time crunch here. We're down,
Right.
I believe, 66 days. November 9th is when we need to be out of the building. So also, Chief Jackson, he mentioned it, just for context, Lumberton has previously provided EMS coverage in Tabernacle and Chemung, and they were operating at a loss for service. The township manager, Meredith, as well as the township solicitor, Margaret, were both included on the email provided by Chief Wood in November of 2024. So you guys should be aware that this is not a cost-effective endeavor. Without any financial consideration included, Lumberton taxpayers are running the risk of having to have increased taxes, and they might be the ones subsidizing Tabernacle and Chemung EMS. Additionally, how is Lumberton Township going to provide a service to other townships, even though they don't municipally provide this EMS service on their own? And this coverage is being done through contracts with private entities. Residents deserve to know that where their tax dollars are being allocated and whether formal commitments have been made. And I'm respectfully requesting that this information be shared publicly at this meeting or provided in writing, because the other townships that we're talking to are kind of holding this information back from us. So if we could start with the town fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll start with the easy question first. So the grant we got from the county, which we're incredibly thrilled about, is going to be used at Village Green, which is our large park when you come down Main Street from the bypass. It's where historically the county farm fair used to be held many, many years ago. It's now been home for food truck events and car shows and things like that. So we've been wanting to upgrade the bathrooms there for quite some time. So that's going to be part of it. And also replacing and upgrading playground equipment that's there, because now Village Green is getting a lot more usage than it used to. So we're excited about that. So with respect to when the agreements are expected to be delivered and the actual terms of the agreement, I'm going to defer to our attorneys in terms of when the agreements are being prepared or distributed. Okay, thank you, George.
Does this work? I don't know.
Would you like
Let's be sticking up, red button up. There you go.
Does it work? I don't know.
You got to speak very directly into it. It's not.
We
it's
have
real-
seen drafts of agreements, but we haven't seen any recent drafts. So nothing was delivered to me today to review.
Okay.
But as far as what the terms are on that, it's still an ongoing negotiation. So I would ask that you guys not comment on that.
Yeah. My understanding, and again, I'm going to keep it very vague, is that it's similar to the arrangement we had previously when we serviced those two towns, but with additional terms that we believe protects our township more in terms of resources and staffing in response to our residents, and also use of equipment. So this agreement will be a little bit more robust in terms of making sure Lumberton stuff stays in Lumberton and the squad is still able to service our residents as a priority the way they do right now. With respect to the financial aspects of it, again, as I stated in my response to your chief, uh, the emergency squad has a budget that's independent of the township and their finances are their own. So it is up to them to decide if something is financially viable for them or not. And the minute they tell us that it's not worth it, we'll say, okay, we're not going to do it because we're not going to force them into that. The township has a limited financial role in the squad in the sense that we insure and register their vehicles and cover their workers' comp, and they pay rent to us every year for use of our township facility across the street, which is why the township has to have a role in any shared service agreement that they strike with another town, because we do have some intertwined financial and legal relationships with them, but they still do operate as an independent entity in that sense. So my recollection of the previous agreement was that Tabernacle and Shamong were sharing in the cost of like insurance and workers' comp because we weren't going to cover that for calls happening in another town.
I can touch base
So,
on that a
you know, you can imagine that our primary concern was protecting what Lumberton has financially and otherwise before agreeing to go into another town. And that's true for any shared service request we get. If someone comes and says, I want to borrow your construction official 2 days a week, the first question I'm going to say to the construction official is, do you have the bandwidth for that to still service Lumberton? If not, then we're not doing it.
And that construction official, but he would be provided municipally, correct, already?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in that case, you're talking about a municipal employee, but the same conversation still happens, that if it's going to hurt the level of service that Lumberton receives, then it's not going to happen.
And then, to my best recollection, just in regards to your old shared service agreement, I believe it was only for insurance purposes, so that the residents of Lumberton would not be on the hook for the crew that belonged to Lumberton Emergency Squad in the Tabernacle building. So the contract was actually held between Tabernacle Rescue Squad and the Lumberton Emergency Squad in order to ensure that there was proper coverage for the township. So
Right.
that was just something that I want to add. So it better be a lot more robust than that, because if you guys are just covering insurance costs, then I'd hope that there is something in there about financial considerations for whoever's covering it, and just making sure that there's enough trucks, because currently we're Tabernacle Rescue Squad. Our biggest concern is Tabernacle residents and Shamong residents, to make sure that the ambulance is going to be there. I completely understand that your biggest concern is Lumberton residents, but we have a little bit of a different stake in this. So thank you for your comments. I do appreciate them, Gina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for coming out. And, you know, again, as I said to your chief, thank you for what you do for Tabernacle and your community. And again, I really am sorry that you guys have been put in this position. It's not fair to you guys.
The members of
I'm
the
really
Tabernacle
sorry.
Rescue Squad, we will continue to serve until the township officially terminates our agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else this evening for public comment? Chief Wood, I'll offer you the privilege if you want it, if there's anything you want to respond to or clarify. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, so seeing no one else, I'm going to now close public comment and move on to committee comment, starting with Committeeman Benson.
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out. A little excitement building up to this point during the week, but you know, I think things can work out for everybody. You know, like the mayor said, you know, we're all about being a good neighbor. So hopefully we can work out some things and everyone's happy on both sides. That's the goal. That's my negotiator role. I prided myself with for 25 years. Like to thank everyone who actually came out to my last day at the jail. Bobby and some Lumberton EMS staff members. Chief came out. I retired from the Department of Corrections after 25 plus years, and I was a bit overwhelmed to see what we call a clap out, and to see the response that our community gave myself, and leading up to a birthday weekend. So I had a pretty good weekend. I definitely appreciate it. And Troy was there as well. I had to decline one of his fancy limousine rides. I said I'll drive my old Yukon home. But I'd just like to thank fire, EMS, police, public works, because once again, they make the town go around. We're just the faces up front on a TV screen once or twice a month. I definitely appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on your retirement. Well deserved. Committeeman Robinson, I'm assuming, is still on with us on the phone. Does he have
Yes,
any
he is.
comments, Bobby?
Committeeman Benson, Committeeman Robinson, do you have any comments for public?
I don't.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, Committeewoman Smith.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to start my comments this evening with a moment of silence for a young man that is a former Lumberton student, Jabri Shorts. I did get permission to speak of this. Mr. Shorts is no longer with us. There was uh, a tough morning for his parents that he had to wake up. They had to wake up to losing their baby. Despite all the heroic efforts, all of our Lumberton emergency services, they were unsuccessful, and Jabri is no longer with us. So I'd like to take a moment for Jabri, please. Losing anyone, let alone a child, is never easy for anybody. I do want to thank all the children of Lumberton back to school. So exciting. I'd like to urge the community to stay within the speed limit because these kids run fearlessly across the street and we just want to keep everybody safe. I'd also like to thank Public Works. I don't see anybody here from that department, but they filled a couple spots on the football team for us and on the football field. So that's one less sprained ankle. We also patched up our tennis courts. Thank you, ERI, and the township administrator, Meredith, Jackie, and Rakesh. Our tennis courts are looking really good. Last but not least, I just want to remind everybody that we have EMS night coming up, and it's going to be awesome. Ending with fireworks. Who doesn't like fireworks? And that's all I have. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you, Committeewoman Smith, and our condolences to Jabri's family. First, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We're getting you out in time to go home and watch the Eagles game, so you're welcome. I want to particularly thank the representatives of both Tabernacle and Chemung Townships who are here with us tonight. I understand that you're in a difficult spot. I understand that politics plays a role, as it does in everything these days, and first responders is never where politics should be. So again, we are going to continue to evaluate our role in this agreement, and if it's not what's best for Lumberton Township, then it's not what we're going to do. But as Mr. Morris said, it's still being negotiated. And we like to be good neighbors, but only if it's in the best interest of everybody. So stay tuned on that, I guess. Committeewoman Smith obviously mentioned we're 3 weeks away from Emergency Services Night, which we are super excited for. The chiefs of our fire, police, and EMS departments have been working hard to put together a great event. They've rounded up tons of sponsors and great activities, so it's going to be a really special night for everyone. And that is it. Bobby, caucus agenda.
Yes, Mayor, your next committee meeting is scheduled for September 18th here in the courtroom beginning at 7 PM.
Okay, thank you. Michael, do we have need for executive tonight? Okay, and do you have a guesstimate for how long we think we're going to be in there? Okay. So may I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-175 to go into executive? Do I have a second?
Second.
Bobby, roll call, please.
Committeeman Benson?
Yes.
Committeeman Robinson? Deputy Mayor, Committeewoman Smith?
Yes.
And Mayor LaPlaca?
Yes.
Thank you.
So for members of the public, the committee is going to go into our conference room in the back for purposes of the executive session. You are welcome to stay here if you want to be here when we come back to public session. As our attorney stated, we're not going to be taking any action on what we discuss in executive, but if you want to be here when we come back out, you're welcome to do so. If not, have a great night.
Terrence.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, sir.
Yeah, girl. Yes.
Yes, please, show me the way. I don't want to get lost.
I see you have your new PJs on. You look very handsome.
All right. Perfect. Hold on one second. We'll just wait for everybody to come back.
Okay. All right, you ready, Bobby? Okay. All right, it is 8:22. We've officially returned from executive session. No action was taken, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Good night, everyone.